today I'd like to talk about something that some of you know about, but a lot of you don't, and is a bit of an embarrassing subject for me, namely my username. So I've had a lot of people ask me, what is it? Grinilf01 what? Okay, for this I have to tell you a story. So set the Wayback Machine to 5 years ago. 17-year-old Sam just comes across this new website that's really cool, that has loads of videos on it, called YouTube, and it captures his imagination. So, segueing into a radical change of personal pronouns, I was really intrigued by that. I wanted to comment and rate and give things 5 stars or 1 star, or make videos of my own. But I had a problem, which was this. I was a little bit too much into conspiracy theory websites at the time, so I was rather overly paranoid about giving out my details online. I mean, I wouldn't even have an Amazon account because I was scared that someone would steal my bank details or something. So convinced as I was one of the few people that knew exactly how the world worked, and that because of this knowledge there would be Black Watch helicopters circling overhead and people from the SAS about to kick my door in at any moment, I was somewhat paranoid. So what I did when joining this website that I really wanted to plumb the depths of, I first of all sent them a false email address, which was the email address of my tutor at college at the time, and made my username a text-speak version of the place that I worked, followed by 2 random digits. The place that I worked at the time was Green Life Limited. Even back then I had a flair for the theatrical. My thought was that I've cunningly disguised my actual true identity whilst giving a subtle hint as to a small but insignificant part of what my actual life is like. Unfortunately, you can't change YouTube usernames as far as I'm aware, so now I'm stuck with it like a badly spelt tattoo from a misbegot youth. But that brings me on to the wider issue of conspiracy theories. They're everywhere, on YouTube, on the internet in general, as never before, and in my time I've come across some of the big players in that particular sphere. Alex Jones, David Icke, Tex Mars, those sorts of people. Now, often what these people will do is they will start talking about things that are probably true. Like, there are things that the government aren't telling us, and certain shady backroom deals being done with bankers and politicians that we don't get to hear about. Then they move on to things that might be true. A certain group may be engaging in criminal activity to further their own agenda on a large scale. And then with the same air they go on to things that are impossible to prove. Like, for example, every US president from Washington to Obama has been selected due to bloodlines because of a secret cabal of shady overlords that run everything, who may or may not also be blood-drinking lizards. There are people out there who believe this shit, okay? I try and keep an open mind with most things, although one of the things that being on those websites did instill in me, which has been a tremendous boon since, is a deep-seated desire for critical thinking, evidence citation, and a deep appreciation of Occam's razor. Just quickly, for those of you who don't know, Occam's razor is basically the theory that the most simple explanation for something is usually the correct one. Doesn't always work, but more often than you'd think. And I mean, conspiracy theorists aren't the only group of people who will take a interesting story over what's probably more likely. Okay, sorry, cheap shot, I know, but it does fulfill a similar role in some people's life. Like, for all the intricacies and complexities of most conspiracy theories I've come across, the actual net effect is to, in people's minds, change the world into us and them again. Which kind of goes against my own experience and common sense, I think, really. I mean, bizarrely, I think the reason that a lot of people go for conspiracy theories is that it makes the world more simple to sort out. Less thinking time. Good people, bad people. Ironically, the thing that got me away from those websites was their constant insistence that I examine things critically and look at all of the evidence. Which, I mean, even to this day is the best method I know of for finding out what actually is the truth that I've come across. Anyway, I've rambled on enough, and just to round this off, I would say that if I could, I would wish to change my username to what my Twitter username is, which is WYSIWYG88. That's an acronym for what you see is what you get. Anyway, thanks for watching, and DFTBA.